What's going on, guys, and welcome to Class vs. Crass, the Nintendo podcast. I'm going to get back to why I hate Canada in a bit, because that's fresh on my mind. But tonight, we have a very special episode. Not only do we have the usually crassy Sean Long joining us, but we have everyone's favorite, or the guy everyone loves to hate, Eli from Nintendo Enthusiasts. Eli, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's a good day.
Good, good. Uh, I'm getting bombarded by headphones here. And Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm all right, just hanging out.
Awesome. Good. So yeah, I hate Canada because I just got back from driving in our first winter weather, and I despise. I love everything about Canada, but I hate driving in it. Do you guys have winter driving conditions where you guys are?
Yeah, we just got like 8 inches last night, so I totally feel it.
Do you even have to drive that? Aren't you on campus?
I am now.
Ah. All right, so we're going to break this down because apparently Eli doesn't watch this show and doesn't know what the format is. So we always start off with what have you been playing? That's where Sean, myself, and our special guest today will be going through what we've been playing over the last week, share some thoughts with you guys. Then we'll be going over some headlines, which is what we usually do. However, tonight we're going to do a very special angle since we do have Eli with us who reviews a lot of games for Nintendo and has written a very interesting article over the last week regarding Nintendo quality. So, given the recent rounds of reviews we've been seeing from Nintendo first party games, we're going to take a dive into Nintendo's quality. Has it gone down lately? Um, then what do we do? Then we go into the fan feature. That's where Sean brings a fan, I bring a fan. We feature it for you guys. We try to find some dedicated Nintendo fans here for every and share with you guys so that they get discovered. And then we go into the lightning round question topics where everyone in the chat, you toss up your question and topics for us and we discuss it in the last 10-15 minutes. Sound good to everyone?
Yeah,
Yep.
Awesome. So, Sean, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Xenoblade still because it's that damn good. I've been playing. I played some WrestleMania on the NES for a review I did on the personal channel. Um,
What score did it get?
huh?
What'd you give it?
Oh, I don't. When I do like it was, I have like a series called Why I Hate, and I just talk about games that I hate. So they don't really get scores. I don't score anything on that channel. Um, and what else? I got Ultimate Mortal Kombat on the DS end for some reason, and I really hate it, and it really pisses me off. But I keep trying to play it because I don't know. I guess Mortal Kombat's a soft spot for me. And I finally played some more Barbie and knocked out my review of that, which will be up soon.
Was the final boss everything that you hoped it would be?
There wasn't one.
Oh man, there wasn't like the fashion king or something or queen that you
It's
had to.
about rescuing puppies.
Oh, okay. I respect that.
It's not like there's some evil person like stealing the puppies. There's just stupid puppies who get lost.
Just because they're puppies?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Shitty owners, I guess. I don't know.
Hmm. That it? Is that it? Sorry. Did you finally
Yeah,
get your? Did you get your Skell yet? Is that how you
no.
pronounce it? Still no Skell in
Dude,
Xenoblade.
you make it like it takes a long ass time to get to the scale. Like the scale is like very, far into the game, like
Mm.
30 plus hours into it. And
Yeah.
I'm still at like 25 hours.
And that's what they slap on the box art.
I dick around too much. If I actually focused on just story missions, then I could probably have the scale, but that's not fun for me. I like to explore and whatnot.
Well, and then you also get completely screwed because Xenoblade, usually, if you just go straight through, you're facing bosses that are way too hard for you. So you really do have to do the side stuff.
Exactly. You gotta level up and do a little grinding and shit. So, traditional JRPG stuff.
Cool. All right, Eli, what have you been playing over the last week? You've been
So
up
I've been
close.
playing a few things. I've been playing Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, which I reviewed and did not give a great review to. I'm not going to talk a ton about that. Of course, at the end, if you guys want to ask questions, I'll be happy to answer them and talk about the review itself. But pretty much, it's a really bad game. It's really boring, literally just boring to play. And when I look at a game and when I review a game and I play it and I look at it, I think, what is the gameplay here? How fun is it to play? Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival just doesn't have the gameplay. Um, and so that's why I really didn't like it. If you were looking at the other reviews that have come out, I've read a lot of reviews from other reviewers. They pretty much had the same complaints at me. They just happened to rate it a few points higher. Um, I've seen scores from 30s to a whopping 50 that IGN gave it. So a lot of people were concerned about the score. I really don't think people should be concerned about the score because the score really is ultimately unimportant. And personally, I thought the game was terrible, which is why it got the score it did. But if you look beneath why it got the score it did, the board games are all boring. The maps themselves are not intuitively designed. There are no mini games. The mini games that are there that are separate from the main board game are not very fun to play, other than one. Um,
But it seems
so oh yeah, go ahead.
like there's some very basic board games that you can buy that's kind of aimed at like I don't know the 3-year-old to 6-year-old market. I feel like that's what Amiibo Festival might have been
Sure. I mean,
marketed at.
it's literally the equivalent of Candyland, where you have no control. You just flip a card. It tells you where to go. Um, and sure, 3 to 6 year olds may enjoy Candyland, but the problem even here is where I would have a divergence is most of the people that read our site are not 3 to 6 years old, and so that's to account for that. Also, I would say this: a lot of 3 to 6 year olds wouldn't even enjoy this game because maybe they don't know how to read, which is a lot of the charm that what comes into this game is from the dialogue, or the fact that it takes so long you can't really skip dialogue. So not these kids won't really see their player moving across the board. They'll as quickly as they might want because it takes so long for them to move. Um, it's just a slow game. But moving on from that, we can talk about that a little more later.
Of course.
I played Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. I'm playing through that right now for review. And that game is really fun, actually. It takes a
Oops.
really long time to get into. The tutorial's like 5 hours long, which
Oh,
is
I hate that.
annoying. Yeah, it's really annoying, but it really returns to the roots of Mystery Dungeon. And if anyone played the last game, which is Gates to Infinity, I think that was the last game, it was kind of disappointing. It was really easy. Not all the Pokemon were there. It was kind of slow. I'm happy to say that this new one it's got all the Pokemon in it. It's fast. It's got a good challenge to it, at least so far. I'm getting into it. So I'm only, I think, 6 or 7 hours in. It's really only now really begun to open up, but you can look for my review hopefully within a week.
Hmm. Have you been playing anything not review related?
Let's see. I've been playing Borderlands, the Telltale game series, the adventure one, but only a little bit. I haven't had a ton of time. Um, let's see. Have I been playing anything else? I played a little bit of new Yoshi's Island, whatever it's called on the 3DS. I forgot the one
Oh,
that's not
that's an
that great.
oldie. Well, sort of,
Yeah,
sort of.
I found it on sale for like $17, and I'm playing through that slowly and
Is that
steadily.
good? Is that good? I haven't picked that one up.
No, I mean it's not great. It's okay.
Eli, why
It's
do you
okay.
hate
It's not
Nintendo?
bad.
That was supposed to be my opening line with you. Uh,
It's all right. I gave just for disclaimer, so people don't think I'm a complete negative Nancy. I gave Yoshi's Woolly World a 9. I thought it was amazing. So let's just leave it that on a good note.
all right. Now, Eli, pardon my manners. I totally forgot to let you do your own proper introduction. For those who don't know you, because I'm sure that there are some people here who actually don't know you. Um, who are you? What's your backstory? Where are you from? Other than just a writer and Nintendo enthusiast, can you give us a little quick synopsis of who Eli is?
Who is who is Eli? Just as a person, not just my gaming life.
Let's keep it to gaming.
Okay, to gaming. So I'm well, I'm a platform agnostic gamer. I really love Nintendo. That's really what I specialize in, which is why I do a lot of my writing for Nintendo enthusiasts. I go back not too long because obviously you can see I'm a younger gamer. So I started off with the N64 and Smash Bros. And stuff, GameCube, obviously. Pokemon really turned me into the Nintendo enthusiast that I am today. So I played a lot of Pokemon growing up. And then I diverged. I bought an Xbox 360. So I started playing on two platforms, and eventually I bought a PS3 as well. Now I own all of them: PS4, Xbox One, Wii U. Breakdown, I probably play my Xbox One 10% of the time, my PS4 20% of the time, and then my Nintendo systems the rest of the time. I have a Vita, but I haven't touched it in a year.
Who touches a
Um,
Vita, really?
I mean, so I really like to be platform agnostic and realistic when I look at things, but Nintendo is definitely where most of my gaming goes towards, and where a lot of my love goes towards.
So having started on the N64, have you ever gone back and played the 16 8-bit eras game?
Yeah, so I mean, I've gone back on the Virtual Console. I played through A Link to the Past. I've played um, a little bit of Super Metroid. I haven't really gotten into it. I've played, of course, all Super Mario Bros. 1 and 3 and Super Mario World. So I've gone back and tried to play as much of the classics. Chrono Trigger. Um,
That's so
I'm def
it's a good one.
Yeah, I'm definitely not like in depth. I can't, Sean's the guy. Um, but I've gone back and played a lot of the stuff that people call true classics.
Sean, do you have any recommendation for Eli in the retro world?
Don't get WWF WrestleMania for the NES.
You
Don't.
Or
want to give me a
or
comprehensive list of what not to buy?
Yeah, there's this channel called Retro Gaming Tube 85 that does a series called Why I Hate.
oh, you
It's a good
bitch.
series. Talk about games.
All right. So thanks for that, Eli. Thanks for that intro. And then for me, I've been very busy in the last week. I've been playing. I beat Metroid Fusion finally. I played Mario Tennis because I was reviewing that. I played Typo Man, a Wii U exclusive, and the Swiffa there in the chat. I wanted. Well, no, we did play Mario Party. Got some Mario Party 10 time in, but she just wanted to play badminton. The one mini game in there that gets monotonous after 5 minutes, and she wanted to play it for an hour, and we played it for an hour, and it was terrible. So other than that, I think that covers all of my gaming. And yeah, the whole reason I want to talk about Nintendo quality is because, well, Eli just reviewed Amiibo Festival, as he's saying, and he gave it a wonderful score of 2.5. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I'm the lowest on Metacritic, but not by much. Maybe like 5.
Way,
So
way, way to win the bottom there. Then I reviewed Mario Tennis this week. That got a 6. Sean, did you review anything bad lately, like in the last month?
Not well, Rodea on the 3DS,
Mm.
and Barbie's not faring much better.
Well, Barbie's not a contender, but Rhodia on both the Wii U and the 3DS got very low scores, if I recall.
Yeah.
yeah, although that's not a first party game, but yeah.
True, true. Okay. Um, but then Triforce Heroes was weak. I think I gave that a 6.5 if I remember right. Maybe a 7.
No, I think
I
you gave
gave
it a
it 7.
7.
But a lot of people rate it weaker. Who did Happy Home Designer? Was that you, Eli?
That was I
Which?
gave it a 5.
Oh, wow, you are
Okay.
just generous.
Speaking of the scores, okay, if we want to just my little blurb here on scores, since people did rant about them, 5 is mediocre, which means like 6 is okay generally when you're speaking. Our scale is what 4 or
Four.
2.5 to 4 is bad, um,
I don't have it
and
in front of
then
me, but it's about 4.5 to 6.5 is a mediocre game, and then
yeah,
6.5 to 8.5 is good, 8.5 to 9.5 is great, and then 10 is a masterpiece.
yeah. So yeah, Happy Home Designer fits the mediocrity rating perfectly.
Hmm. So all of this, I tweeted about it. I was like, what is going on with all of these negative scores? In fact, someone actually reminded me that, hey, it's not all that bad. Sean did give Fatal Frame, which was released last month, a 9, right, Sean?
Yep.
And we also got Yoshi's Woolly World, which was also reviewed by Eli. He gave it a 9, proving that he's not a Nintendo hater, as many like to believe he is, including myself. Um, so I'm going to start with you, Sean. Obviously, there's a lot of like we weren't seeing this a year ago from Nintendo. Last year, what did we have in the holiday season? We had Hyrule Warriors, very well received. Bayonetta 2, masterpiece, which second party, but yeah, arguable. Smash Brothers, which was also received to nines basically. Did we get anything else during the holiday? Captain
Captain
Toad,
Toad,
Yeah.
which
also
was really great game.
very, very well received. Anything else? There was no mediocre games. Can we say that?
Yeah,
Yeah, on the Wii U, I don't. Yeah, I don't remember there being anything.
But this year it's both platforms, 3DS, Wii U. There's a lot of poo. As Sean would say, there's a lot of poo poo. So, Sean, what
I
do you?
would not say that.
You always say
Poo poo?
you've been saying poo poo, sir, for the last few weeks.
I didn't even realize this.
I was actually
Um,
gonna turn it into your catchphrase. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute, Mr.
That's it.
Crass.
Someone's got to go make a compilation of all the times that he said it.
Please, someone do that. I get what you're saying. With the, I mean, it's all about timing, really. Like, I don't foresee that. I mean, there's many facets to it. Let's call a spade a spade. The game, like I've said a million times, the game of the year is not out yet, and that's a Wii U exclusive. So, is it all doom and gloom? No. Has there been some questionable releases? Sure. I mean, you know, Amiibo Festival, Amiibo Happy Home Designer, Mario Tennis. These are games I don't want to play. But then in the same breath, you've had stuff like Yokai Watch. You've had stuff like Fatal Frame. You've had stuff like Yoshi's Woolly World. You have stuff like Xenoblade that's coming out. So I would say that there's more garbage than last year for sure. But is it a reason to be alarmed? No. I mean, like I don't. It's kind of obvious at this point in time that Nintendo is really looking forward to the NX. I think that this weaker holiday season is kind of the writing on the wall. There will be good stuff in the spring for both platforms with Project X Zone, Final Fantasy, the Dragon Quests on the 3DS, and then on the you also have Mario and Luigi, whatever that new RPG is called, and on the Wii U, you got Star Fox Pokken Tournament, and some other
Shinigami
stuff.
Tensei X Final.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, there has been some dog shit this holiday season. No question about it. But I don't necessarily think it's a sign of things to come. I think that these were exactly what they were: cheap cash-in games that they could have been decent. I mean, like Mario Tennis to me is looks decent, but I think Mario Tennis should have been a $40 release. I think if this
But
was
I
a
think
go ahead.
But I think the question is more, say, have they done that in previous years? Would they release so many cash-ins in a single year? And I mean, some people would argue whether the cash-ins or not, but I mean, the director of Amiibo Festival himself said, "Well, we wanted a game with Amiibo in it, so we made this because the Amiibo reception was so well." I don't know. Obviously, I haven't been around the Nintendo sphere as long as you guys have with so many generations. But I definitely don't remember Nintendo releasing games just to have a release. There were droughts. That was a thing. Droughts are terrible, but they never really remedied droughts with terrible games.
But if you have to think of it like this though, there have been droughts on every platform since the N64, but it has never been as bad as the Wii U was. Because pretty much speaking, let's say that none of these games came out. No Fatal Frame, no Yoshi, no Amiibo Crap Festival, no Mario Tennis. What is there?
Well, I mean, if we left the good ones in there and took out the bad ones, like Amiibo Festival, Happy Home Designer, Chibi Robo, um, you know, Mario Part or Mario
Wait,
Tennis,
where
you
did you
know.
bundle Chibi Robo? Did you put that in the bad pile?
TB Robo should be
Um,
in the good pile.
Yeah,
okay, it was a decent game.
yeah, you put that in the
Yes.
good pile.
All right, but the point is, like, if you took out the ones that were not received as well, are you left with? I think you're still left with a passable schedule.
Oh, no. That's
So
tough.
I'm gonna argue that yeah, you do have the shit. Amiibo Festival, that's kind of in the bad pile. But Mario Tennis, it's not that it's bad. Like Sean said, I think if it was priced lower, it would work because it was a good game with solid mechanics. If you read most of the reviews, it's just it wasn't very fulfilling. As a multiplayer experience, pop that in with some friends, you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna play that for some hours. If you're a Mario Tennis enthusiast, you're gonna go online and you're gonna have fun. But they didn't put that extra effort to fluff it up for anyone who wants to, for the casual who's at the party and everyone's at the popcorn dish and they're just playing around with it alone and then they figure out this single player mode. Um,
Could the game have been? Do you think the game could have been much better had they delayed it half a year, or
well,
or do you
given their
think?
track record, so one of the things I did in my review was because Mario Tennis is a franchise that has a 15-year history now, I actually looked back at it all and how does Mario Tennis compare to its predecessors? and it's just a huge step down. All of the past ones had cinematics in it, which that doesn't add anything to the score, but it makes a more welcoming experience off the bat. And then you had a bunch of mini games, which to anyone who really plays Mario Tennis, I'm sure they don't really play for the mini games, but it gives you that extra content. It feels like you're getting a little bit more for your money. Like the one on the 3DS, they actually had Super Mario Brothers, the game, and you would actually hit Goombas and stuff by knocking the tennis ball back and forth. Like, imagine, oh, I can't even describe this, but you got a 2D screen and you got two tennis players on each side. Actually, no, it was bouncing against the wall, and you're using basically tennis shots to control, like, to decide what's going on in the Mario Brothers game on the NES. Like, that's creative. That's kind of fun and it's unique. Are you going to play it more than a week's worth? Probably not, but it feels like you're getting more out of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Mario Tennis was honestly like when you saw it at E3, that was probably like
The final build. Yeah,
yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I think I wrote the preview for that at E3.
Well, I'll give them one thing. They did please the hardcore tennis audience because on the 3DS they had the luck shots, which is that thing that's on the ground, and when you go on it, you activate it. And you couldn't disable that on the 3DS version, but you can disable it here, where you can just play plain old tennis with Mario characters. And that's all kind of skill based, and it takes away all the random gimmicks that people might not like. So they catered to a certain audience with that. It definitely wasn't meant for mass. Like, I don't know. It could have been like that. Could have been an eShop download exclusive, not Fatal Frame.
Yeah.
Plus, it was like a gig, right? So
Yeah. I mean, this
888 megabytes.
888. That's wow.
But then again, I mean, in the same breath, Nintendo is good at compression of first party downloads. So, but still, that's pretty damn small.
Well, I think the most surprising thing is we're calling these games cash-ins, but I don't even know if they're making Nintendo money. I mean, the sales were leaked for some of the games they put out last month. Chibi Robo sold 35,000 units in the US. I don't know if I'd call that a cash-in, because they didn't really. I don't know if they made their money back on that.
Well, I don't think Chibi Robo was intended as a cash in. I think things like, hate to say it, but Triforce Heroes, both the Amiibo games, and Mario Tennis. I think those were the best examples because they're taking IPs that everyone's familiar with. Everyone's familiar. Every Nintendo fan is familiar with Animal Crossing. Every Nintendo fan is familiar with Mario and Mario Tennis. Every Nintendo fan is familiar with Zelda. So they took those IPs and basically just made quick games with them that two were decent, two were dog shit. Is what it is. I could see Triforce Heroes being okay when it comes to holiday sales. Chibi Robo is just dead in the water, and that's a shame because I really didn't think it was. I thought it was a pretty fun game. It was pretty good.
had
I
some
And
feel
weird
bad for them
things.
because the producer said that the next game would depend on this one's success, and I'm sure that they wanted to make something more substantial.
Well,
yeah,
they say that, but if they come up with a unique idea for, yeah, I got my little Chibi Robo here too. Oh, you
Oh,
got one
sharing
too,
Chibi
Mr.
Robo.
Amiibo Hunter?
Well, you know how it is. I've got it new in box, just like a real Amiibo hunter.
Oh no, there's a crease in the box. Are you gonna
No,
spaz
there
out
isn't. Oh, that
live?
it was made that way. It came with a crease. That's the way it's supposed to be.
I'm just messing with you. So you okay? So we like the biggest thing is not really are we worried that Nintendo's going in a bad place because every company kind of has their bad games and good games. And like people are pointing out in the chat room, we got some good games this year. It's really when you compare to the last holiday seasons, we never saw something this bad. Is this at E3 the whole theme was change? Well, if this is change, this is scary because we don't want this kind of change. It's going to places we don't like. Do you think this is just kind of a scatterblast shot of let's just try the whole spectrum of possibilities and see what happens?
no, I think it's the NX is coming. Let's just try to get some titles out on these systems. Period.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still from E3. I said I think that NX is coming out in 2016. I still hold myself to that. But if we assume it is, then you bet they probably have Metroid, Mario, Zelda ready, and they need to have that in development for the not only at launch but for the months coming after launch, to make sure there's no drought. So, I mean, it's understandable. If you remember the year before the Wii U launched, they just had a massive drought. They didn't have crappy games. They just had they really didn't have much of anything.
I actually don't
Um,
remember the year before the Wii U. Can anyone take me down memory lane
it was Skyward Sword, and I think it was just Skyward Sword.
Yeah,
Was there
that's
anything
pretty
else?
much all there was.
in the whole
Last
year?
Story, right? Last Story may have come out the.
Yes, the last story did, but I mean that was wasn't that limited release, GameStop only?
That was Xenoblade was limited release.
I thought
Last
they
Story
both
was.
were though.
I
That
think
could be
Last
wrong.
Story was out.
But
I
was
don't know.
there any poor titles that were released that year?
No, there was just no titles,
Just none.
and that system was just like.
Goodbye. Although it was still
I mean,
selling well at that point too.
you have to
Yeah.
figure like look at the three biggest spring games. Okay, Star Fox. How long has that been in development? Quite a
Hmm.
while.
Hmm.
Twilight Princess HD being handled by an outside company.
Hmm.
Pokken Tournament, an arcade game. Like these are ready-made games. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they have good titles coming out in the spring, but they're either titles that they've been working on for a while, or they're not working on them because Pokken Tournament essentially is done. It's an arcade game, and Twilight Princess HD is being handled by Tantalus. So
Well,
that
we got Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem once again. Putting that one out there. That's
Well,
a
he was
huge
sticking to
game.
the Wii. That's 3DS though, right?
no, that's Wii. Wii
That's a
U.
Wii U.
Okay, sorry.
And then,
Fire Emblem Fates is coming out for 3DS.
Right.
Fire Emblem
Okay.
X Shin Megami
I mean,
Tensei.
there's a shit ton of stuff for the 3DS in the spring.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Like
$80 for Fire Emblem alone.
your Fire Emblem, Mega Man Collection, the only physical release of it.
For North America,
Yeah,
the Europeans are
I
getting
don't care about
screwed.
the rest of the world and
Of course not.
USA. Um,
Yes,
yeah,
Dragon Quest. We know there's a lot of stuff.
there's so much stuff. So I'm more excited about the spring, honestly, for both
Mario and
consoles.
Luigi
Same.
too. Yeah.
Like,
And okay, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but last thing I want to point out, we all know how poor Nintendo's marketing has been with the Wii U since its launch, right? We all agree there?
Well, okay, actually, I feel like the
Oh.
last holiday commercial they came out was pretty good.
Okay,
I don't know
not
if you
not
guys
counting
watched
this
that.
year. Not counting this year.
Okay, yep, yeah,
in
yeah.
general, yes.
Okay, I walked into a Toys R Us yesterday. Do you know what I saw like on the scanners when you walk in? Triforce Heroes, Amiibo Festival, what else did they advertise? Mario Tennis. Basically what we just highlight as their weakest lineup ever. And now they're pushing that down consumers' throats as this is what you need to buy. Do you think, well, obviously they're desperate. They have nothing else for the holidays. Although they could be pushing Xenoblade more. Do you feel that this is smart or bad? Because now that's what they're putting front center, and that's what they're actually marketing when they haven't been marketing anything else as strongly, in my opinion. And then people are going to pick that up and like, wow, this sucks. Nintendo's a bad company. Do you think that's a risk?
No,
Nah.
I think you don't understand that the average consumer is not like us and the people in the chat room.
But the
I
average
mean,
consumer is what
the average,
throws their
okay,
money.
okay. The average consumer is buying Star Wars Battlefront.
Well, I wouldn't even say go that far. I wouldn't even go that far. I'd say if you were buying the Wii U for its wonderful great games, you would have probably already bought it. So if you're walking into a store this holiday, there's no price drop on the Wii U. Let me mention, it's still $300, maybe $250 if you find a good Black Friday deal. So I don't think it doesn't really matter what game you're highlighting for me. Because if you already don't know which console you're getting, then maybe Mario Tennis is a better game for the casuals to appeal to the
Or
casuals
Mario
than
Maker.
is Xenoblade. I mean, Mario Maker is a cool game you could also show off, but I don't know how effective Xenoblade is. I mean, maybe
Xenoblade
Splatoon would be good too.
is for hardcore Wii U owners. Period.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I feel like if you were already buying the Wii U for its good games, you would have A, already bought it already, or B, the marketing on the front of the store really wouldn't do anything for you in that respect.
Right.
That's my train of thought anyway.
Okay. Another, I got two things for you, Eli. Anyone else want to have any last comments on this, on the stinky Nintendo lineup? No? Okay.
Xenoblade is game of the year.
I mean, it's kind of disappointing, but if you really the volume of games released this year is pretty big, and you can actually go earlier this year to pick up some stuff you missed on the 3DS. Like I don't know if anyone picked up Etrian Odyssey, Etrian Mystery Dungeon, whatever it was called, which is like Mystery Dungeon but Etrian Odyssey. Many of you may have missed Persona Q last year. I'd recommend going back to that. There are a lot of games that came out that people overlooked because of the strong lineup last year and earlier this year. So I'd recommend maybe going back to some of those if you find yourself yearning for something to play.
All right. So the two things I wanted to tell you, Eli, or ask you, Eli. You played Yokai Watch, and you're
Yes.
a huge Pokemon fan, as you said. So this
Yes.
was actually a reason I wanted you here to share Yokai Watch. How is it a good game? How does it compare to Pokemon? Is it the
Oh.
next big thing,
Did,
or
did you not read his review on
Oh.
NintendoReviews.com?
Boom. Boom.
I didn't? I don't read
Uh,
Eli's stuff. It's full of negativity.
No, you gave it
yeah.
like
Well,
a or something.
actually, not for Yokai Watch. I really liked Yokai Watch. I thought it was a great game. Um, it's it's different than Pokemon, and unfortunately, you do have to draw comparisons to it. So I'll get rid of the negativity first, and I'll move on to positivity.
Of
Um,
course.
so unlike unfortunately, the battle system and the way you get yokai lacks depth as opposed to Pokemon. There really aren't that many stats you can improve. There's not IVs, EVs as there are in Pokemon. You can't trade Pokemon with or yokai with other players or battle online. Although I hear that in the second game you can, so I'm just waiting for that second game for Yokai Watch because you can. So that's all unfortunate. However, on the bright side, I really liked Yokai Watch because the battle system was a lot different than Pokemon. It's more real time. You do have to swap out your characters in real time, be using items. So that's really cool. The other thing is, I know all the Pokemon by this point by heart. Like, takes probably a good gigabyte of my memory space in my brain. How much I know about Pokemon. So it was really nice to have something new and fresh. All the yokai I was meeting were new faces, and it was kind of exciting to see all these new monsters and to try to catch them. Um, and there were tons of side quests, just so much side stuff to do. There were boss yokai, legendary yokai. So I really liked the game. It was really addicting. I did catch yokai fever while playing it, and I really recommend it for fans of Pokemon. It might not lack. It might lack the depth of Pokemon, but I'm sure it'll get better as they release new versions, and this one's really good.
Nice. Sean, before I go to my next question, we're gonna go into some NX stuff in a bit. Do you have anything for Eli that any topics or questions you had for him?
I talk to him every day.
Well, you're supposed to pretend that you don't and that you have something
Oh,
for the live
hey,
show.
stranger I've never met before. Are you a Xenoblade fan?
Oh,
You don't actually
so
need to try.
so I played Xenoblade Chronicles on Wii for like an hour, and then I never came back to it again. And then I reviewed
Oh yeah, you
Xenoblade
reviewed the
Chronicles
3DS one.
3D for I went and bought a new 3DS for it to do the duty for our site of reviewing that game.
I
Um,
remember this now because I remember I got it and I didn't have a new 3DS yet, or I didn't have the time, and you were like, I'm going to buy one now, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
yeah, I went that day and bought it. The funny thing is about Xenoblade is that they sent it to us, I think, 5 days before the embargo lift or something. It was some
Yeah,
ridiculous amount of time. Like nobody in the right, like if you saw a review at the embargo date, they probably did not play through the whole thing because um, they literally gave us 5 days. But yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't always have a lot of time to review games. Sucks. But yeah, the next thing is obviously NX is a hot topic, and everyone's always asking, what do you think the NX is going to be? What are your theories on the NX? When's the NX coming out? Do you want to make love to the NX, etc., etc.? So, what's your NX theory? What do you think it's going to be? When do you think it's coming out? Let's hear it. And then we're going to get into the Nintendo fan feature.
So who's first?
Oh, Sean and I do this all the time, so it's really just you.
All right. So I think that the NX. I don't really know what it's going to be. I think that because of all everyone's saying it, it might be one of those things where it's both the handheld and the console together. Which I don't really want that because I feel like it's going to be too expensive for the average consumer. You see a box $600 console and handheld together. I don't really support that. If they sold it separately, then I see how it could work if you have the port separately from the handheld. Um, but I really don't have an inkling of what it could possibly be. It's coming out in the middle of the PS4 Xbox One generation. On one hand, they could make something and future proof it, so they don't need something else. On the other hand, they could release something where it lasts just until the end of the generation. I don't know. I think I don't know what Nintendo could pull out in the middle of a generation. They need good marketing, they need a good idea, and they need the games and third party support. That's it. I don't know.
But you think it's coming out next year?
Oh yeah, I think absolutely. I think it's coming out next year. They don't really have anything else. It sounds like they've been trying to hype this thing secretly for about 6 months now. Now, one of the big arguments that people say is it'll make current fans pissed off after they bought a Wii U and mad. Um, but I don't really feel that way. I think a lot of Nintendo fans don't really feel that way. I mean, if you bought a Wii U and you've bought its library of games, there are a lot of really good Wii U games. And if the NX comes out next year, 4 years after the Wii U launch, and I've played through so many amazing Wii U games, Bayonetta, Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Splatoon, Super Mario 3D World, Pikmin. You can just keep naming them and naming
Pikmin
them.
4. Yes.
I really don't have any regrets. I don't know about you, Sean, or you, Jason, but if the NX comes out next year, I have no regrets about buying a Wii U. I'm not mad at Nintendo. They released a lot of good games for the system.
It was
Yeah,
honestly a
So,
solid console.
it is. I
yeah.
mean, it'll definitely have the. People don't like to admit it, but I think it'll have the Dreamcast stigma, where in retrospect, when you see the amount of high quality releases, I mean, there's so much stuff. So, I think I have no regrets whatsoever. I love my little Wii U, and I would like to see an expansion. But one thing I do find interesting about, since
Sean
we
and
are talking
his
little
Wii U.
NX,
Sean and
wow,
his little
we're
Wii
really running out
U.
of time.
No, we're not.
One thing about the NX that I find really interesting is how a lot of analysts are painting very positive things for the system, which is the complete opposite. So, and then granted, analysts don't know shit, period. So, but I just find it interesting, like just how the NX is already shaping up to be. Even though nobody knows anything about it, everyone seems to be. Shut up, Jason! You're such a dick.
It
Um,
would make a good children's book. I'm not
you're, you're,
I'm not using any kind of connotations here implying something. I'm just
I
saying
hate
it's
you.
a cute little storybook. I would buy that for a child. Sean and his little Wii U.
Anyways, I just think it's just really weird to me how all of a sudden people, like even Michael Pachter, are like saying positive things about the system, that it's going to sell 30 million units, it's going to be a good system. So I don't know, it's interesting to me.
Well, to clarify, 30 million is not success. I mean, it's successful if they make money on it, but that's not like blowing the doors off.
But I mean, look at the Xbox One. I mean, what's that sitting at? Like 15 mil after 2 years?
Probably like 15.
People aren't hating so
I
much
mean,
on that because its future is better. Its outlook is better than the Wii U.
well, yeah, but I mean, the Xbox One has been out for 2 years. So in another 2 years, if it sells another 15 million, then you're at 30 million, and then you're looking at a successor. I think a lot of people get the PS4 numbers and look at those, and look at the PS4, the Xbox 360, and the Wii numbers, and see these illusions of grandeur. When in actuality, if you go back and look at console sales for the N64, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, like they were more akin to that sort of thing. And yes, these systems cost more money to make, but they're also, coming with a lot of extra stuff. There's a lot of extra fees that you're getting involved into. Your controllers are skyrocketed in price. I mean, they're screwing you on the controllers. Let's call a spade a spade. Season passes, DLC, memory cards, online features, all that shit. So they're still making their money outside of console sales. And plus, Nintendo has the dark horse in the room that is these stupid ass things that are just printing money. So I think if the NX did 30 mil, that's super respectable and good enough for companies to make games for it. I mean, and honestly, if that's a low end estimate, that's a hell of a lot better than the situation than they're in.
That's true.
All right, good discussion, but we do have to get into the next section, which is the Nintendo Showcase. Or sorry, the Nintendo Fan Showcase. I usually like alliterations. I don't have one for that yet. What else did I have for you, Sean? Forgot. That's
I don't
something to
know.
point out. Oh yes, I want to shout out. We have Cave Theory in the chat. He's an indie developer, right?
Yes,
But I don't
and
know. I think his
I
game's
believe
secret still.
his name is a secret, but I believe that I am modeled, or my likeness is modeled after an enemy in the game
Oh, cool.
because I'm
So
better than you.
it depends who you ask. All right, so let's get into the Nintendo Fan Showcase. Sean, we're gonna do yours first because it's music once again. So do your little intro, and I'm gonna play the music. Oh, so for
So this
anyone who doesn't
guy,
know, let me do the intro to the section. This is when Sean and I pick a fan in the Nintendo fandom that has qualities that either they have a YouTube channel, they do cover music, they're an artist, and we highlight them here for you guys. If you guys have one to highlight for us, send it to either of us. Sean, go.
so this is erock331. He is not relatively unknown. He has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, but I think more people pay attention to his like older music covers and TV show covers as opposed to his video game covers. He actually is a big video game person. He has a lot of video game covers, and this is one of them. It's a super cool song from Zelda, and you should be able to recognize it.
All right. I actually picked another song too, but we'll play yours first.
Okay.
We got two songs from this guy. Here we go. Let's see if you can guess it. All right. And if you want to hear the rest of that song, you can head over to his YouTube channel. Sean, what is it again?
Erock, EROCK 331.
Complicated. All right. We got another one from him. Here we go. Let's see if you can recognize this one. It's going to be a little bit easier. Takes a minute to load. Takes. There we go.
It's me, Mario.
All right, and that of course is the cover of Mario, and we're not back on our scene. Here we go. That is of course the cover of Mario Brothers. So if you want to listen to more music from that cover artist, it is erock331. He covers a ton of theme songs from anime, movies, games, of course. So do check it out. He's got a lot of good stuff. Now my feature is an artist once again. So usually if Sean has music, I like to bring an artist. So today's artist, their name is, let me look it up. It is KL Steel Art. You can find them on DeviantArt. And here are two pieces of their artwork, which I thought was just incredible. So as you can see, we've got an awesome drawing here of Samus, as well as Link and Zelda from the Twilight Princess. So yeah, if you want to see more of that artist, you can just head over to DeviantArt and you can search for their name, which I will be copying in the chat. And for those who are joining us on the podcast on SoundCloud, that is KLSTEELEART if you want to look them up. And of course, if you are on SoundCloud, you should check out the YouTube stream as well if you want to see any of these arts Uh, really, that's pretty much all you're missing out on, other than seeing our faces. So that is, those are our two fan picks for this week. Do submit any if you have. Where did Sean go? Eli, what did you do with Sean?
I threw him into the river. So
Did he not say where he
I'm the
was
new.
going?
I am the captain now.
Oh, great. Okay, well
No,
you're
I will.
Crass, which is fine. You got the scruff going, so you're off to a good start. Um, seriously, where'd that dude go? He just took off.
He probably just went to get drunk. So when he comes back,
Funny thing is, that guy only drinks Coke on Class vs. Crass, whereas I usually drink wine. Oh, the irony in that.
because
All
I was
right.
gonna say, doesn't that fit the persona?
Yeah, but so Class is always drunk? That doesn't quite work. All right, so Sean's gone. I guess he had enough with everyone here.
Oh,
Didn't
there
want
he
to see
is.
Eli. Where'd you go, dude?
I couldn't find my lighter, so I had to use the stove.
Okay, well, he stays true to his persona. All right, so now we go into the lightning round. This is where we take topics and questions from the users. Since we have a special guest, we will focus on questions or topics that any of you guys might have for Eli. So, ask away, there's some lag. So, guys, if you have any questions amongst yourselves that you want to do while we wait for some questions to show up, feel free. But pretty much at this point, we just take questions, topics from the chat room, toss them up in here to discuss so that anyone who's watching this not live can listen to it or can pick up on it on SoundCloud if they can't read the chat.
Eli, have you ever played Final Fantasy: The Four Heroes of Light?
The,
No, I haven't, unfortunately, on the
I
DS.
bought
Is
it
it
for
a
like
good game?
$10. I want to try it.
Is it
I've been
good?
on.
Oh, is it a multiplayer game?
No, it's
no.
just it will
Uh,
have wireless card play. It says.
Can you show that case again? I wasn't on you when you showed it. So that was a re-release of the original?
No, this is an all new Final Fantasy adventure.
Oh, well, the Four Heroes of Light is sounded like the story of the first one.
Well, yeah,
well, I
but
think it was supposed to be like a precursor to Bravely Default. I think,
yeah.
is what they. Yeah.
There's so many.
Um.
All right, we have a question.
Which one?
Eli, favorite N64 game?
Uh. I don't know. I haven't played a ton of them. Um. Probably. Okay, so I've
Truth
been going
comes
through
out.
Conquer recently. I haven't beat Conquer yet, but if Conquer holds out as this good for the rest, I mean there are control issues,
Oh my
but if
god.
Conquer holds out this good for the rest of the game, then I think it's going to be Conquer. If not that, then probably Smash Bros.
Is Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon better than Red and Blue Rescue Team?
Oh, that's a hard one. Red and Blue Rescue Team was really good, so I don't know if it's is good, but it's probably it's good. It's not that good, but it's almost there.
Eli, what are your opinions on Sean's glorious nipples?
Um, you know, they're tasty.
All
Whoa.
right.
You guys have been close.
Be swift over ignoring your question. How much memory does Xenoblade Chronicles
Wait.
take on disk, and which external hard drive should I get? Get the disk. You don't have to worry about memory. And I still have not downloaded any data packs, and I still don't care about the data packs because the game is fine without them.
Hang
Are
on
you
though.
worried about?
If they don't want the disk and they do want the external hard drive,
I don't
they
know. It's a disk. I can't.
no, I'm saying how much memory does it take? I'm not sure, but just the packs themselves are
Huge.
15 gigs.
You,
You're going to need an external hard drive, and if you need to get one, I suggest getting a Seagate. 1 terabyte
that's
is your cheapest, and you want one with an external power source. You don't want the one that's just a USB.
Lightning
yeah.
round.
Well, you can if you get a USB splitter, you can use one that leaches off the Wii U. You'll just have to plug it into two USB ports. I think a Seagate 500 megabyte. Um, I mean 500 gigabyte. But I would suggest on Black Friday in the US, head to your local Best Buy because I got a bunch of half terabyte hard drives for $40 a piece, which is really cheap.
Wait, you
Are you
plug
worried
in two
about?
USBs?
Shut
Yeah.
up. Lightning.
I'm going to stop calling it the lightning round if it's going to get you to shut up.
But yes, I do. I split the USB and plug it into two ports.
Oh, that's a good idea. Go back,
Are
Sean.
you worried about the NX flopping? Not really.
Hell no.
A little bit.
Really? How so?
I mean, well, it depends on what you mean by flop. I don't think it's going to sell more than 30 million units, but I don't know. I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to make any claims here.
Hmm.
Jason, a question, man. If a game is light on content at launch, such as Splatoon, do you think they will get better when free DLC comes later? What if the new Mario Tennis took that approach?
I think it's completely possible that they can use that approach, and I would hope that they do so. But it's tricky when you're reviewing things because, as Sean can attest to the Splatoon review, Sean reviewed Splatoon at launch, gave it a 7, which was fair because it was very light on content. But then we had to re-review Splatoon in August based on all the DLC, and I think it would be like a 9. Now, re-reviewing doesn't mean we rewrite the score. It just means we inform the readers that, hey, with all this new DLC, it's now good. The score doesn't change on our site or on Metacritic, and that's kind of uh, the downside to doing that, to releasing a light game and then fluffing it up afterwards, is a lot of sites will not change their scores that way, and that's kind of a problem in the industry that no one has really solved in light of this new way of developing games. Yes, Eli.
Well, there was it sucks in this situation because most of the stuff was already developed and was on disc. Like if you remember, there was a new map released like a few days after the game came out. So I feel like the solution to this would have been putting out all the DLC that was already created for the reviewers, and then releasing it week by week for everyone else. That
That's
way, the
true.
reviewers would know what all the content was there. It wouldn't be the ideal solution, but I feel like that would be a good fix. And Splatoon may have rated substantially higher had they put in the DLC maps.
Also, you have to remember that the Splatoon DLC was announced before the game released, whereas Mario Tennis Star hasn't been a peep about it. So I don't think you will see an influx of content for the game. I think Mario Tennis is Mario Tennis. Favorite Super Nintendo game? Castlevania Dracula X and Super Castlevania 4. Easy.
Eli,
Um,
if you've played.
Probably Chrono Trigger.
Same.
Out of the whatever, however many I've played, probably Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger or Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. That was a good one.
Favorite episode of the Bubsy cartoon? I wish Bubsy would uh, just. I wish Bubsy never existed, like in any way, shape, or form. I wish Bubsy never happened, and I
Is
think the world would be a better place. I don't think you would see all these wars and things like terrorism if Bubsy didn't exist. I think this is a way for people from other countries to attack the United States solely because of Bubsy. Like he ruined lives, and I really think Bubsy is a branch of terrorism.
does Bubsy actually have a fan base?
Bubsy can go to hell. Um, the question's kind of slowed down, so I guess we could talk about Bubsy. I mean, at the time, like I guess Bubsy was kind of okay on the Super Nintendo and whatnot, but they weren't good games. And then for some reason, like they just kept making. I think the company making them was Accolade, who also did Barkley Shut Up and Jam, which was a fine game. And they just kept making more, and they put them on the Jaguar, and they made the PlayStation One game. It was God, he was such a like a douche, like just a complete douche. And it was like a snarky '90s attitude, Oh God, like if Bubsy was a person, like I would kill him and I would go to jail for it. But I don't think they would. I think I would get a light sentence.
Yeah, I was reading.
I'm surprised that they're trying to revive Bubsy through Steam Greenlight. Jesus Christ, are you joking? Are you joking right
I
now?
don't know. Pictastic is on the Bubsy train right now.
No, our RPG review says that they're trying to revive Bubsy through Steam
Oh, they
Greenlight.
actually are trying.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's crazy. I have a question. Eli, do you actually own every amiibo printed so far?
Uh, yes and no. There are a few of the most recent ones that I'm missing that I haven't. Like I have Falco sitting at Best Buy for me to pick up. I pre-ordered it.
Of course.
I have to go to Toys R Us and pick up the 3-pack for the Me Amiibo. But other than that, I do have every single one, including the stupid Yarn Yoshis that just ate my wallet.
And they're all
And
sealed, right?
they are all sealed except for the two that came with Amiibo Festival. But there's no pack. Like there was no packaging inside. They were loose. They weren't packaged. which
Eh.
completely destroys everything because I had already ordered because I already have all the other Animal Crossing line amiibo, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So where are you putting all these boxes?
At my parents' house
So
because
they're not even near you? You just buy them and ship
no,
them to a closet?
I'm shipping them all to Colorado.
Wow. Are you still on the quest to catch them all?
Oh, yes. Although I'm heavily questioning my choices right now because altogether I probably spent more than grand on them, which
Easily.
is which is sad.
All those games you could have bought.
I spent over $100 on a version one villager amiibo, which is
Oh, the one they
really sad.
reprinted. And that's now
They reprinted it.
$13.
I've got a version one, which is what counts. You can see the difference, the forehead difference.
Oh, okay. Open your damn amiibo, says Baka. Bananas. All right, guys. We can still take a few more questions or topic suggestions if you have any. We can go over. We got 2 minutes left. How many Nintendo enthusiasts have become Xenoblade fans? That's a good question.
A lot of
Uh,
us.
I think we're all very hyped for it. Right now, there's two out of how much are we at? How many staff are we at Nintendo enthusiasts like active? One, two, three, four, five. Like half a dozen, and two are going through the game right now. What about you? Like me and Eli and I don't have the games. Are you hyped for it more
Well,
now, or
yeah, I've got both the collector's edition and regular edition pre-ordered. I'm going to. I haven't decided which one I want to keep yet. Like I will unload one or the other. But I pre-ordered two just in case. So yeah, I'm very excited.
such a hoarder? I'm way more excited hearing Jonathan and Sean talk about it. Sounds an amazing game.
It is.
And you can
Games
catch
are
Sean preview the game. There's a stream where Sean played 2 hours on our Nintendo Enthusiast YouTube channel.
Yeah, like 2.5.
That's exactly what I said.
You said 2.
And a half.
I didn't hear you. I don't really listen to you most of the time.
It goes both ways. Eli, oh, that's a good question. Eli, how do you feel about Cloud in Smash Brothers and the future of third-party support?
Oh, this is just opening the can, and just the snakes explode everywhere. So I'll go through this really quick. A lot of people blame third parties for this third party situation on Wii U, and to one extent they are to blame that they were releasing crappy products. But in my view, it's Nintendo's. Nintendo's the one that's the console maker. They're the ones that want people to buy consoles. EA doesn't care if you buy a Wii U because they'll just put their games on Xbox and PlayStation. They really don't care. Nintendo's the one that cares whether Wii U's get sold or not. So in my mind, at the beginning of the Wii U life cycle, right now it's too late for it. In my mind, Nintendo should have made a much bigger attempt to keep third parties on the Wii U. And by that, I mean literally, if let's say South Park, it's a Ubisoft game. Ubisoft was porting most of its games at that time, but South Park didn't come over. Nintendo should have gone to Ubisoft and said, hey, if you port South Park to our system, we will cover all your port costs until you make it back. So that way there's no way they lose money. You minimize risk. So then Nintendo, if the game is successful, they make their money back. It's not really that much of a risk, but they really need to minimize risk for these third-party publishers. And a lot of people will be like, well, it's not Nintendo's job to do that. And I would argue that it's Nintendo's job to sell Wii U's. As for Cloud, specifically in Smash Brothers, I hope this means that the Final Fantasy VII remake ends up making it onto the Wii U. That would
Personal
be really
opinion, do you like Cloud?
yeah, I mean, he's another sword character, but
So
I
you don't
mean,
care about Cloud?
I don't know if I'll be actively using him. Marth is usually the sword character I will use, but I think it's a really cool idea to cross over. If they paid for it to be a Wii U exclusive after showing it off, or I mean a Nintendo exclusive after showing it off at a PlayStation conference, I think that would explode a few minds. But I don't think that's going to happen. As epic as it would be.
Right. Oh no, Sean was hit by a Cloud question. It was super effective. Just thought I'd call that out by Alex. There was a question regarding Sean regarding Xenoblade. Sean, is there a difficulty setting on Xenoblade?
I answered it in the chat room.
And for those listening in,
No.
no, there is not. But sounds like it's difficult enough in certain parts.
Yeah, I mean, if you just run around like a jackass as a level 5 and go up against a level 40 creature, you're going to get your ass handed to you.
Yeah. Do you think Xenoblade will have amiibos, Xenoblade amiibos, other than Shulk?
No. I mean, it might. No, I don't think so.
It would have
It's
been
not a game.
cool to get a mech or a Skell.
maybe, but
Yeah, and then they sold for $40 and a million people would buy it. That's
profit
We
wise,
would,
yes.
we
But
would, yes.
I mean, as far as the game is concerned, there's no need for it because it's a complete game, unlike Star Wars Battlefront. I hate
it.
Star Wars Battlefront.
I canceled my order after reading a few reviews because of how I didn't realize you have to pay for the game twice to get
You
it.
have to pay for the game twice. And people are every reviewer who gave that game a positive score can go to hell. Go to
Oh,
hell because you are
let me
playing video games.
let
Period.
me just say this is where Nintendo is really an awesome company. Is that when I buy their games, I know they're not going to be $10 in 5 months. I like Assassin's Creed. I'll play Assassin's Creed, but I always wait at least 6 months because they're literally $12 as opposed to 60. And I
Oh
never
yeah.
buy PS4, Xbox One game at launch
But
because I know they'll.
at least Assassin's Creed has a single player experience. You're paying twice for an online game that in 3 years the servers are going to be shut down anyways.
Four
And
maps,
then
isn't it?
your game's a coaster. You have
Yeah,
nothing
it's
to do
four
with it.
maps.
Four maps for here in Canada. I think it's 80. Or
Yep.
there's two versions. There's the collector edition, and then there's the other edition. What's the difference? You get four little digital items.
Yeah, you get different poses like emoticons. You're paying for emoticons and shit.
Ugh, it's so dirty. That's dirty money.
But the
And
sucky
oh hey, this game's an 8 out of 10. It's a fun experience because we didn't pay for it. That's exactly
Well,
what
that's what annoys me. Splatoon comes out, it
Right.
gets everyone mad about it only having what was it, four maps also, but it
Like
at
it
least had a single
was.
player mode.
5.
And then it got
Five.
injected with like so much free stuff that tripled, quadrupled its content. And Battlefront's like, no, 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 no. You gotta pay just to get a bit more
Gosh,
maps. Double the
it
price.
sucks because games really should be more expensive than they are now, but because they aren't, they really got to try to leech as much as they can from those that will pay, and that's DLC and season passes for you. Sucks.
It does. As Sean always states often in his rants and on the show, people are accepting bullshit, and more bullshit will come from that.
Yep. Excellent quote.
All right, so we are at the hour mark, guys. It's time to wrap up our show for today. And whoever is a fan of Walking Dead, I guess you can go watch that now. Before we sign off, we'll let Sean guide. Sean, what can people look forward to from you, and where can they find you?
Well, I only have to work 3 days this week at the day job, so I'm gonna finally finish up some video projects I've been working on. I
The call out. We weren't live. Now we're live.
this factory seal. I don't want a factory sealed. I'm gonna pay $10. Give me Final Fantasy 3 at $10. That's complete.
And we're back up.
12. It's not bad.
So Sean's shopping his porn right now, guys. Sorry. We are
Coming
back
back up.
because we are going to end this properly with a nice little music and the
Good
proper
job,
sign off.
Jason. Wasting no time.
Computer had to reboot and stuff. Sorry about that, guys. So Sean, as you were saying, what do we have to look forward to from you this week, and where can people find you? Seriously, we're back on air now. You can sign off.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm Retro Gaming Tube 85. Everyone loves me. And yeah, I got a bunch of stuff coming out on Nintendo Enthusiast. That's it.
No
Eli,
tease.
your turn.
Eli, what do you have
All
coming up this week, and where can people find you?
Oh, so you can find my stuff at Nintendo Enthusiast, of course. I have a Super Mystery Dungeon review coming up soon. You can find me on Twitter at Paleselan, Paleselan, and I'll put that in the chat again.
Awesome.
Plugs galore.
And this is why I wanted to end this properly, because I'm ending the Wii 100 this week. We have 2 episodes left, and they're both coming out this week, right after Indie Corner. So you've got that to look forward to. What did you just say?
I said, yeah.
Yeah. So again, thanks everyone for joining us on the Class vs. Crass Nintendo podcast. We're here every Sunday, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you next week. Until then, keep on being classy gamers, or as Sean would say,
Keep it crassy. Flawless ending. Flawless.
We're still on.
Yeah, we're doing the music.
Anything else you want to say during the music?
Go to hell.
You need the little outro. Gets people, it finishes them off nicely.
They're all about finishing them off nicely. Can't they hear us?
Oh, of course.
Okay, that's great.